What is happening, everybody? trueeevil here, and we're on day 9 of Blue Protocol's release. And if there's one thing that is very clear today, it is that resources are scarce. Most specifically, it's going to be the advanced books and the battle imagines, which are going to be really important as a free-to-play light spinner to be able to keep up with the whales. Right now in the top player bracket, I would say it's everywhere between 11k and 14k, being the 14k with the biggest spenders, and the free-to-play light spenders are at 11k. But if you start prioritizing what you need now, you can get to the higher portion of the 12k if you're a light spender. I'm not going to talk about what you need to be doing as a whale to get that 14k because I am personally a light spender. So I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing to advance in this game and get close to a 12k by the end of today. So without further ado, let's talk about what's scarce and how to get it. Now, advanced books are going to be the most important thing to start picking up because, as you can see here, it costs 35 books to get that final level and 30 books for tier 5. And there's just not enough books that you're going to get in a week to be able to make sure that you get these levels. So that means that you're going to need to buying these books on the trading center if you haven't, which means you need unbound luno. There's just not any other ways. There are some ways to get books, which I'm going to show in a sec, but we really need to start using our life skills to get unbound luno so that we can get this huge damage increase with the tier 6. So first, let's just talk about ways to get advanced books besides the trading center real quick. The first way I'm going to talk about how to get more advanced books is through the knowledge convert potions. This is going to make it so that you can use 3 of those bound advanced books that you have from a class that you don't use, and you can use this potion to create a selector. This is going to be a nice way if you've been collecting a bazillion books from other classes. Like, for example, I have 15 Stormblade books, so it's nice to be able to convert these into my actual classes that I will be playing. But this potion is going to require some stamina, so it does make it so like you have to make that decision. You can also buy these off the trading center. So this is something I want to point out. You can get this in the burrow right here. The other place I would say to always check out to make sure that you're getting them from is the mystery store. Always use your refresh to make sure that you get everything that you need. And if you're running low on rose orbs, it's still definitely something that you should buy. If you don't know, you can convert some of your luno into rose orbs, and it is substantially cheaper to purchase the advanced books from the mystery store than they are from the trading center. So definitely always get these. So if you didn't know, you can use your unbound luno to get bound rose orbs. So as long as you're selling things in the trading center, it is always cheaper right now to get the advanced books from the mystery store than the trading center. Now, one thing is going to be apparent, which is you're going to need to sell things to get unbound luno. So what are we going to sell? So what I want to talk about for the rest of this video is just the various life skills that I recommend to use in order to get unbound luno so you can get the books, so you can be doing that DPS like a whale even though you're a free-to-play player. So let's talk about what the skills are that you're going to be leveling to sell stuff. Let's talk about all the different ways you can use life skills to make unbound luno and one is the most profitable. I think it's important to talk about a wide variety of life skills, namely because of the guild cargo quests that happen daily. You're going to be gathering different resources every day, so it's nice to know what I can gather for that quest, as well as get some items that I can sell for unbound luno. And the one I want to talk about is, for me, snowflake parsley comes up a lot, and it doesn't sell for a lot. But you know what does sell? Tokiwa grass, which is one of the items needed to create the conversion potions, so you can use those 3 advanced books and create a selector for it. And these sell for a substantial price, and you get these from farming the snowflake parsley. So definitely, if you see something like that, it's worth it. You might be like, oh, this is worthless. Well, it does have a chance of dropping that sweet, sweet Tokiwa grass, which you're going to use to get that guap guap, as well as the emerald apples can drop from sweetberry. And that is important to note. So although these two are abysmally cheap, they can get you the item that is going to sell for quite a lot. So definitely check up on that botany. The next resource I want to talk about is going to be the mining and smelting method, which you can't sell the raw ore for anything worthwhile. You can smelt them into the resources for refinement. And for this, what I would highly recommend before you start making the resources to sell for the day is just seeing which of these 3 are going to be the most popular. It's going to change every day, and as you can see right now, Radiant Stone is completely sold out. And if you make this, you are most likely going to be able to sell it for the maximum amount of money possible, as well as if you try to sell like fine forge stone, it seems right now you won't get maximum profits. So definitely look at the 3 of that, as well as a couple of other tips I'm going to recommend right now to maximize those gains. The farther away we get from the last refinement point, the more those items are going to drop substantially in price. So if they do start dropping, what I would really recommend to do is wait 2.5 days for the next levels of refinement to come out, and then list the materials so you can get the biggest bang for your buck. So when you're trying to sell materials, always check the time gates, because these time gates are going to be a really good indicator of what's going to sell for that sweet guap guap. One other thing I want to point out real quick is something that my friend messed up on, which is when you get to the next upgrade of mining materials and smelting, it's going to unlock a different recipe, and this recipe is going to be really important. So for the next round of refinement, make sure that you're going to be doing this if you're selling, which is if you do this recipe, you're going to be able to get way more of the items, which means you're going to make more unbound luno. So make sure you're using the best recipe possible for the most gains. That's what we want, boys. Those sweet, sweet gains. The next skill that's going to net you a lot of unbound luno is going to be gem crafting. Selling the raw ore is once again not going to be a good option, but if you go to gem crafting, you are going to be able to do 2 different ways. One is you can make the best type of gem possible, or you can just make the lower version. And as you can see, selling diamonds seems to be quite profitable, so I would definitely check on the stamina ratio of this to see whether or not you can just make just regular diamonds and not have to worry about making the higher version of these. But if you are making the higher versions, it's always nice to know which ones are going to sell for the most. And in my opinion, the 2 that are going to sell the best is going to be the Ruby Power and the Emerald Agility 3. Right now it did dip a little, but those are going to sell out instantly. I think this is just going to be one of the best ones to make in terms of profit, so I highly recommend to just make the ones that, you know, the ones that people want. So definitely know what marksmans need, definitely know what shield knights need, and definitely want to know what stormblades need. Actually, I would just recommend making whatever a Stormblade wants, because most of the whales in this game I feel like are Stormblades. So definitely want to check that out in terms of what to list on the trading center if you're going to make the highest version, but definitely check to see if just making these versions of it, because I actually do think making the diamonds will be more profitable, but you know, your results may vary. With those last 2 skills, what we saw, it was always more profitable to make the final product than to sell the materials. But on these 2, items, I would really recommend not to create them and to sell the items to create them, which is going to be the first one, which is Knowledge Convert Potion. That's the potion you use to create the advanced books through the 3 that you don't want. And the thing is that the grass is 3,500, so it's actually more profitable to not make the potions because of how much you can generally make for every 20 stamina used. So I definitely would recommend selling the Tokawa grass than to make that. And then the one item that it's going to really like defer on like whether it's worth it is going to be in culinary, which is the most expensive thing to buy right now in terms of life skills, which is cheer up treats, which makes it so when you eat it, the next dungeon is going to drop 3 times the loot, which a lot of people want right now because they are not getting the golden weapon and they kind of just don't want to wait until the guaranteed one comes in the next couple days. So because of that, this is really going to defer on the price of the market because the apples that you need are selling for their max price. And the thing is you need 14 of those apples, which means it's very substantial. So in order to make a profit, you really need to just like check in on this. I do think it is worth it, but like you're going to have to play with the market on this. So while this is a very profitable item to make, it's going to really just depend on can you get the resources or not for a cheap price. This method is not only going to help in terms of getting the money you need in order to get advanced books, it's also going to help with battle imagines because battle imagines drop very, very rarely, so you're most likely going to need to purchase them from the trading center. So these methods are going to help as well for that. I really recommend as a free-to-play light spender to try to get the 3rd dupe of the 2 purple battle imagines you want to use. Are if you're playing something like Shield Knight, going for that 1 copy of a gold that's going to give you that ability to really help you in the dungeon. So that's it for today. Hope these guides help you so that you can get those power-ups ready for next week once there's more floors in the vaults to go on. Let me know in the comments if you know any other methods that I may or may not have missed and what you're looking forward mostly in Blue Protocol. So see you guys tomorrow with another video.